On some Cardi B, we have eyes. Does she look like she want to get up and walk any goddamn where? No. I'm here to tell you she does not look like she likes to walk anywhere except to the fridge.
So I just got into a fight with my date and I just left. So, long story short, I met a guy on the app like a week ago. And we've been like talking on the phone a couple days this week. We agreed to meet up today, Friday at 7:30. I didn't hear from him today, the day of the date. We talked last night for like 10 minutes, but I didn't hear from him today. And I'm an anxious attachment girly. So, you know, I need some reassurance today of like, especially for a first date. We've never met in person before. We met online. So I was like, I need to know that we're still going. So I'm trying to get out of my own way. So I text him, even though I didn't want to. I text him and I'm just like, hey, we're still going. Haven't talked to you today. So, you know, I want to make sure we're, you know, still on. And he's just like, oh yeah, it's been a busy day. I can call you right now. And I was just like, oh no, that's good. Like, I really appreciate it. That was a green flag to me that he, you know, was like, oh no, it's just been busy. I can catch up with you right now. And so that was a green flag for me.
This is a long video, so I'm going to be stopping it for the people that just let the video play as they click onto a commentary video. Make that make sense. I do think that it's important to communicate. If we're going to go on a date, I do want to hear from you the day of. So I don't have any issues with her saying that. I don't have any issues with her checking in to make sure that the date was still on. The last thing you want to do is not hear from the person and then 5 minutes before the date, they're like, oh yeah, I'm not going to be able to make it. Like, I could have planned to do something else. One thing I will say, I don't understand why our first reaction to things happening in life is let me whip out my camera and film it. I don't understand that. It seems like she just got off from this date that I guess she got into a fight with, and she's telling us right now, girl, go home. Like, go home. I think it's so weird how we just want to share every single thing with the world and not even give ourselves time to process it, not even give ourselves time to even talk to like a loved one about it to get some closure or some understanding. It's like, no, I have to post it right now. It's gonna lead to you saying outrageous things because, like I said, you haven't had time to process. So I don't know why we're getting added to the group chat literally the same day. Girl, add us to the group chat maybe a week from now. Write it down, journal about it, think about it before you come to the internet and say something that's crazy.
I ended up getting ready and I was running a few minutes behind, and I just told him, you know, after I had sent that text, like, you know, I have a 40-minute drive, so I just wanted to make sure, and that's important, so hold on to that. So I get ready. I'm a few minutes late. 7:30 we were supposed to meet up. 7:35 was about my ETA. So I'm communicating the entire time. I want to be the communicator that I want. I want people to communicate with me a certain way, so I communicate with them that way. So I'm communicating with him the whole time. He says he's there. I said, okay, I'm gonna be there I'm pulling up in 5 minutes. I'm about to get off the highway. So then he tells me, oh, we have a 35-minute wait. We can go walk around the mall. Y'all are gonna be pissed off at me probably, but
do we want to take a wild guess? Does she look like she wants to walk anywhere? Let's be honest, okay? On some Cardi B, we have eyes. Does she look like she want to get up and walk any goddamn where? No. I'm here to tell you she does not look like she likes to walk anywhere except to the fridge. Obviously, she's gonna have some issues with let's go walk around, but I digress.
I end up just telling him, like, well, at first I was just like, I called him and I'm literally like pulling up if you're in the DMV area, I live in Baltimore County, we met up in Arundel Mills. So I'm pulling up and, you know, it's a complicated parking situation. And I'm just like, why was there no reservation made? Oh, I've been here multiple times. I never had to make a reservation. It's Friday. They're busy. It's a restaurant. Like, he's just like super aloof, just like, it's no big deal, whatever. And I'm just like, I drove 40 minutes. It is the evening. I am not interested in walking around the mall, like, while we wait another 40 minutes for our reservation. Like, and so I'm just like expressing my frustration to him and just saying, like, you know, like, I feel a little silly right now because I just drove a really long way and like you didn't even make a reservation.
You're acting like this man had you drive all the way out there and said, we're not going to eat. We're just going to walk around. These broads are insane. And it's no wonder that they're single. Okay? It's no wonder that they're single. You're going to be mad at everything. If you're going to get mad at a 30-minute wait, which if we're being honest here, that's not that long. Okay? I've gone to restaurants where they wanted you to wait an hour. Okay? I remember one time we went to Uncle Julio's. This was years ago. And the wait was like 2 hours and we waited. Like, that was a crazy, insane wait, but we waited because we really wanted to eat there. Girl, 30 minutes? You can't wait 30 minutes? This is why I say you need to evaluate everything when you are vetting a person, because one, you're an impatient broad. I mean, you can't wait 30 minutes. Two, you're worried about sitting down and eating. You're not worried about the actual dates, okay? Because if we want to look at it and be honest about it, a date is where you are sitting there, you're trying to get to know the person. So even if you were to just go walk around for a little bit, that would be a date. Why? Because you're getting to know the person. Bitch, you don't care about getting to know him. You just wanted to eat. It's not so much that you wanted to get to know this man. You just wanted to sit there and stuff your face. So I'm seeing through all this nonsense. Okay, I'm seeing through all of it. If you are there for him, going around and just walking around and talking, you're gonna want to do that. Because guess what? What if he's insane? Okay, what if he's insane and you get to talking to this man and you're like, hold up, I don't even want to sit and have a meal with you? Then you can leave. You can go ahead and leave before before you sit down and have the dinner, because you talked to him. You got to know him even further. You're not right in this situation. There's nothing wrong with getting to know the person in person. You could say, well, we talked on the phone. That is completely different from being in someone's face and feeling the vibe, feeling the energy. That 30 minutes of sitting there and talking or walking around and talking, see, it's multi-layered. You would have gotten to know him, but also you would have worked up an appetite walking around. You would have appreciated the meal a lot better. I really don't like these broads. They make it so that men are going to just stop. Men are going to just stop. They're going to get dogs and die alone. They're going to stop approaching women because they ran into enough ungrateful heifers that they're just going to say F it and not want to deal with y'all. Anyone cheering this on is stupid. And they're probably single. Okay? Single as a slice of cheese. Get your big ass up, walk around, get to know that man, and then sit down for a nice dinner. 30 minutes? You're tripping over a 30-minute wait? That is not long. I was pregnant. Me and Justin, we would go out to eat and I would sit there and wait. We would have to wait 30, 45 minutes and I was pregnant. You know, pregnant women gotta eat. And I was fine with that. You ain't missing no meals, sis. You look like you could go a few days. Okay, a few days with a nice little water fast and you would be perfectly fine. You could wait that damn 30 minutes and walk around. He dodged a bullet. A big bullet.
And so he's just like, well, just park, just get situated. Like, we'll, like, it's not that, basically just saying like, it's not that big of a deal. And I'm just like, it kind of is though, because I just drove a really long way and I feel a little played right now. And I'm just like, you know what? Let me take a beat. I was like, I think I told him straight up, I'm not going to be a good date to you. I was like, I'm not really happy that I drove all this way and that like I have to wait 40 more minutes. And I was like, I'm just going to take that time and go back home.
You said you were driving for that long. Bitch, you need to stretch your legs. Whenever I have a long drive, I want to walk around. I want to stretch my legs. It makes sense for you guys to get up and walk around before you sit down and have dinner. It's not so much just that being fat is unappealing to look at. It also comes with some personality shit. There is some personality traits when you get to be this big. And not all, right? Because there are some women that are that big that are trying to get smaller and they have the right mindset. So not all. But this heifer right here, she just want to sit down somewhere. Okay, after she was already sitting down in the car. I could understand if maybe you were up running around all day, just running errands left and right. You just been on your feet forever. You had to walk to the restaurant. I could understand you saying, look, I don't feel like walking right now. I literally walked here. That would make sense. You've been sitting in a car for 40 minutes and you probably was sitting before you got in the damn car. So I'm gonna need you to stretch your legs, get to know the dates. This man could have been your man. And you leaving because of a walk? Taking a walk before a meal? He dodged a bullet. I'm glad he didn't have to waste any money. It is not that deep. And before you guys, well, he should have made the reservation. He should have made the reservation. If he's gone there a bunch of times and he's never needed a reservation, he's not going to think to have a reservation. And honestly, a lot of these places don't even take reservations anymore. That's the new trend. A lot of these restaurants, you call ahead, they don't want to hear it. They don't write your name down. They don't give a, they want you to be there ready to eat. They don't even take reservations at a lot of restaurants now. I know you guys are going to call me, oh, you're just a pick me. You're just a pick me. You know, you're not going to get picked behaving like this. You're not going to get a man. You're going to be alone. Y'all turn getting picked by a man into some bad thing as if y'all aren't going on dates trying to get picked. What's the point of dating if you don't want to get picked? If you don't care about getting picked, don't go on dates. Oh my God, you just want to be picked. You just want to be picked. As if y'all heifers aren't on Tinder trying to get picked. The insult doesn't even make sense. It's just lonely broad coat. So every time you hear the women and they spamming, oh, you just pick me, pick me, pick me. You're just coping with the fact that you will never get picked. Why? Because you have mentalities like this. And men don't want no parts. And I understand why.
I know y'all gonna probably think I was snobby for that, but I'm sorry. We can blame it on me being hangry or whatever, but I'm just like, I know myself and like, we're already in the negatives. There's no reason for me to sit here and wait with this man knowing that I'm not going to give him a fair chance. I know myself. I said, let's just reschedule. I was like, I'm sorry. I'm just really frustrated about this. So he ends up, I hadn't even parked at that point. So I turned right back down around and get on the highway. And so he calls me and he's just like, well, I'll come to you. I'll drive 40 minutes to you. And, where can we go in your area?
He is simp. He is simp. Ain't no way, boy. You do not negotiate with terrorists. Do not negotiate with these big back terrorists. Absolutely not. I'm gonna need you to have some dignity. Like, you must be desperate. This man is a simp. She said that she got into a fight with the date, so I'm guessing that it doesn't go as planned. So maybe he's seen the light, okay? Maybe this experience will help him see the light, and hopefully he sees this video that she made, and this also red pills him into reality. Because heifers like this, you do not negotiate with them. She was well on her way. She was about to be there 5 minutes out and then go turn around because she didn't want to walk. That's a red flag and a half.
Half of me is like, okay, I appreciate the fact that you're trying to make this even, but also now I gotta come up with some plans and we're still probably gonna have to fucking wait. I live in the suburbs, but still, so I'm like, I recognize that I'm frustrated in the moment and I'm just like, let me take a beat for a second. Let me just I'm getting back on the highway. Let me just think for a second and figure out what my next plan is. Cause I'm fully dressed, makeup on, whatever. And I'm just like, let me take a beat for a second. And so, I'm thinking about just saying, you know what? He's saying that he wants to come all this way. I got a couple spots that I know that we can go to, but I just need to take a minute to cool off. So I was going to just be chill about it or whatever. Then he presses the issue and it's basically trying to chastise me for being upset. And that's when I was just, I lost it because I'm just he was basically like, oh, well, if I had made a reservation and the restaurant was busy, what would you have done? And yeah, I was just like, are you being for real right now?
That's true. Even if you have a reservation, sometimes you still gotta wait. And then what? You gonna have an issue then? See, he clocked her T. This is the type of effort that's gonna be mad no matter what. If things don't go exactly the way she has it planned in her mind, she's not flexible enough to deal with it. Now, I understand. I get frustrated too sometimes. But you have to learn how to be flexible, especially in the dating stage. You have to be flexible. You have to be willing to go with the flow. And that's something that I'm learning to do more of. I am high strung too, sis. I understand. You gotta let that go and learn to just appreciate and be in the moment. It seems like he was really willing to work with you, especially the fact that he was offering to go to your hometown after you turned around for whatever reason. And now you're mad. Oh, we're gonna wait another 40 minutes. This just goes to show what I said before. The bitch just wanted to eat. It had nothing to do with the date. She didn't give a damn about getting to know this man. She just wanted someone to pay for her to stuff her face. days. Let's just keep that in mind as we're listening to the story. She doesn't care about the date. If she did care about the date, she would have showed up. She would have enjoyed that 40 minutes talking to him. And honestly, that 40 minutes would have flew by. Justin and I can get to talking and hours will go by. We'll be like, damn, it's already 9 o'clock. We'll be like, where did time go? Why? Because we're enjoying the moment. We're enjoying each other's company and we lose track of time. Birds like this, let them fly away. Okay? Stop trying to get these birds to come back. Let them go. This is just showing you exactly the type of foolishness you would be dealing with if you got with the broad. She's always going to have an issue. She's always going to want you to do everything for her, criticizing every little damn thing. And even when you come up with a solution, she's still going to criticize it. So it's not even just that you have a problem. You come up with a solution and she's still mad. This is a heifer that's not cooperative. And that's the word we need to use a little bit more when we're having this conversation around dating. Who is being cooperative? And if they're not being cooperative, do not deal with them. Let them go.
If you made a reservation, we wouldn't have had to wait. If we had a reservation, that is the whole point of the reservation. And I was like, you're not being accountable. And now I'm actually getting mad. You know, like I'm actually getting angry because like instead of just saying, hey, we crossed wires. I didn't think there was a reservation needed. Let's try to figure something out. Like, instead of just leaving it at that, now you trying to act like I'm wrong for being upset. And, like, it's not that big of a fucking deal. I really was going to accept his alternative, right?
I bet you the reason why he said this, because I'm going to just tell you what it is. She probably kept bringing it up. She probably kept nagging him about it. Probably kept complaining about it under her breath, saying little slick stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if he said that because she kept pushing the issue about how bad it was he didn't have a reservation. I would not be surprised. I know heifers like this, where they will just sit and complain and complain and complain and never let it go. Even though you've proposed the solution, she's gonna continue to complain about it. And that's probably why he said that, because she probably didn't even let it go. It was just like, oh, if we had a reservation and they still wasn't able to seat us right away, what would you do then? But he's the problem.
Really, really trying to like be a better human and a better girly, but I consider myself a reasonable person for the most part, but I just could not fucking believe you're sitting here trying to act like, well, what's the big deal? We would have had to wait anyway. No, we wouldn't. That's not the point of the reservation. And so now I'm just like, listen, sir, I'm not trying to get into it with you about this. We can just plan something for another day at this point. Because again, I'm not going to be a good date to you tonight.
Not just a good date, just not a good anything. So it's not even just a good date. You're just not a good person. And you're not logical. Anyone who's been out to eat enough or anyone who's worked in the restaurant industry, you already know a reservation doesn't mean necessarily that you will sit down right away. Okay. Sometimes the place is busy and people don't want to get up and leave. Finding tables, it's not always a guarantee. And they're going to make sure there's butts in those seats regardless. They're not going to hold the table for an hour before just to make sure your reservation is available. Sometimes you still have to wait, even with a reservation.
Really getting upset now. And so like he starts like laughing, like, well, what? I just don't get it. Like, what's the, and I said, so now it's funny to you. I went off the deep end. Oh, so now it's funny to you. Now it's funny to you that I'm upset about this.
Yep.
So I was just like, you know what? You ain't even got to worry about me, because now you just not being accountable at this point, and now I'm really pissed off. Before, we could have just called it up as a miscommunication, cross wires, whatever. But now I'm pissed off because now you're like damn near making fun of the situation or like acting like I have no reason to be mad. Well, we would have had to wait anyway. Like, no, take your L and just. I just got interrupted because he just called again. I'm not answering. But then like after that, when I'm just kind of like, you know what? I'm actually good on this whole situation because I don't appreciate the fact that you're like not even taking accountability at this point, and you're like making it seem like it's a problem that I'm upset in the first place. So I'm just like, I'm good on this, enjoy your night. So he ends up texting me, and I'm going to put the text on here, but he ends up texting me basically like, well, you actually have a right to be angry, but I think you took it too far.
You're right to get angry, but I think you took it too far. See, we didn't have to wait that long. The table is ready. You had just walked, but your big ass didn't want to walk. And you didn't even know why. I was laughing. Okay, he kind of had some typos in there. Even if I made reservation, if the restaurant is, and there's no, I thought I was having a seizure reading this. And he's just saying we would still have to wait, which is what I was saying. Just because you have a reservation doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to sit down as soon as you get there. Sometimes you still have to wait, even with the reservation. That's just funny. You made this whole big deal out of something that wasn't even going to be a problem. If you had just went with the flow, things would have worked out. Hey, you would have had a little minor brisk walk, and then you would have sat your big ass down and had dinner. But no, had to get angry, had to argue with him, chastise him, be sassy. You deserve to be alone. And what's interesting is that the comment section, guess who they agree with? They agree with me. Let's read some of these comments, because boy, they eating her up. Okay, they eating her up, as they should. Sorry, babes, I don't see the problem. You could have used that time to talk, get comfortable, and have a cocktail or something. Exactly. But Big Back Landria couldn't see past not having some fritters to stuff in her mouth. Your first mistake was driving 40 minutes for a man you've never met. I mean, I don't see the issue with that. If you're going somewhere that's obviously got other people there, it's not like you're driving 40 minutes to his house. I don't see a problem with that. 40-minute drive isn't that bad. God forbid you walk around and get to know each other before dinner. God forbid. You don't need to be dating, and I agree with that 1000%. It wasn't that serious. He dodged a bullet. Y'all pissing me off so bad, making me pick the man's side. So even the sisterhood is like, girl, get a clue. He didn't reach out. He had you. Okay. Of course, the big broads are the ones agreeing with this. So, of course, the fellow big back is going to think, yeah, he didn't make you walk. He just da-da-da-da. Because they don't want to wait to eat. And you should have had the reservation so I could stuff my face right as I pull up. Girl, be so for real. Please work on your patience so you won't miss out on a good man. That's crazy. I would block you right after that. Ain't that right? I'm an anxious attachment girly. The end. If you have anxious attachment, you don't need to be dating. Go heal. Online therapist, girl, talk to ChatGPT. Do something else. Okay, you don't need to be dating. I feel like you didn't like him enough, and that's facts. If she had liked him, she would have stayed for the date. She did not like him. She just wanted to eat. She wanted to get a free meal, and that's why she was upset. She didn't want to talk to him. If you liked that man, you would have loved to sit and talk to him. It wouldn't have mattered. You would have just wanted to be in his presence. But y'all, I don't think there's much else to this. I mean, the video's pretty long already. I think we get the picture, the big picture. I am curious to hear you guys' thoughts down below. How do you feel about this situation? Do you think she overreacted, or do you think she was right to be upset about maybe a 40-minute wait that wouldn't have been a 40-minute wait if she was just patient? She would have been eating a lot sooner. I am curious to hear you guys' thoughts down below. If you like the content, like the content. The more you interact with it, the more it gets pushed out into the algorithm. Hype the video. I have that function now. And if you're feeling a little extra generous, the link is in the description to buy me a coffee. Thank you guys so much, and I will see y'all with the next one. Deuces.